Mars, the red planet. For billions of years, it just sat there. Peaceful, quiet, unsuspecting. But one man is going to change all that.
And now, our final member of the Mars team, astronaut Fred Randall.
Rocketman.
This kid is our last hope.
He's fearless.
Hello, my little Ewok.
He's a computer genius. He's supposed to be a little weird.
A little?
He's determined.
How fast does this little tree twirl?
And what's the most important thing at NASA, children? Safety!
And he's got nowhere to go.
Are we there yet?
But up. This fall.
Be careful you don't get sucked out when you flush.
Fred Randall's more than a hero.
Oh, I should have had those space beans.
He's a breath of fresh air.
What?
Oh my God.
No, come on. Oh, man.
Disney's Rocketman.
Trust me, he'll be a total professional.
Yes, Rocketman, the 1997 film from Disney, starring Mr. Harland Williams. This is a fantastic movie. This is an underrated, undervalued comedy classic. It's quotable, it's just hilarious. And this was your maiden voyage.
This is my first time, and I have to admit, I was a little apprehensive, because I was worried. I know Harland Williams' style of comedy. I saw him do some stand-up back in 2006, maybe.
Right.
And, obviously seen his bit parts in a lot of movies over the years.
Yeah.
But I wondered how that kind of comedy could translate to what effectively was a PG film.
Family film.
But he fucking did it.
He sure did it.
He did it.
For a family film, he fucking did it.
No, good work, man.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man. Look, Harland Williams is a legend, and earlier this week, I, just spontaneous burst of, an idea came to me. Let's get Harland Williams on the show.
Totally.
Will he go for it? I got in touch with him, and within moments, he's like, yeah, man, of course. Cool. And we got him, and he had a lot to say, and he wants to tell you all about it. Mr. Harland Williams.
Oi, good day, Australia. Did I say it right? I don't know. I tried. Hey, Australia and the FakeShemp podcast. This is Harland Williams, a.k.a. Fred Randall, star of the movie Rocketman. And the good folks at FakeShemp reached out to me across the vast, bubbling ocean and said, hey, man, could you say a few words about Rocketman? Would you mind? I'd be your mate for life if you could say a few words about it. I know, everyone tries to do a Australian accent. So here's the story on Rocketman, a few minutes on Rocketman. This was a movie that Disney approached me with. They had been looking for a movie for me to do, and I'd turned down a few other options, George of the Jungle and a few other ones. And I found they showed me this movie Rocketman, and I just thought, oh yeah, man, this is something I could get my teeth into. This is something I could rewrite. This is something that would be like a throwback to those old Jerry Lewis, Don Knotts movies, which I always loved. So I said yes to Rocketman, and the folks at Disney were great. They let me actually rewrite the script twice, although I'm not credited as a writer on the script. Trust me, I rewrote that thing twice. The original writers were great guys. They did an amazing job, and I just kind of went through and beefed up or added on to stuff that they had started. And boy, I could go through the whole movie and show you places where I jumped in, but it was great. The whole Call Me Mommy, where he's stuck underneath the moon buggy. I came up with all that. I came up with the original scene where I'm in the isolation chamber. To give you an example of how I worked on the script, The original scene for the isolation chamber was Fred Randall goes into the isolation chamber. They close that giant metal door. You see him looking through the little glass window, and he just goes, "Mommy!" And end of scene. And I was like, no way, man. Fred Randall's like, he loves outer space stuff. He's so excited to be involved in space and be one of the astronauts going to Mars. His imagination would go wild if you locked him in a room. So that's where I came up with all the stuff about the yodeling and the singing and the sock puppets and the talking to himself. And so that little scene went from the word mommy to, it was like, I don't know, a 5-minute scene of just him driving the other guy crazy in the next room, which was also something that I came up with. And then same with the thing where I'm flying around in a circle on that gravity machine when I'm going round and round. It was the same thing. They just wanted me to go, mommy. And I was like, no, man, this is too funny. Like, you got something whipping around at high speed. So I came up with the whole thing where the bolt comes loose and he flies through the air and he smashes through the wall. And once again, he smashes into the astronaut that he's already injured. What else? The scene where they announced that I'm supposed to go to Mars, where it's like, and our next astronaut is Fred Randall. And in that scene, I was supposed to faint. They just said, oh, well, Harland faints, or Fred Randall faints. And I was like, no, this guy, this is the moment he's waited for his whole life. I said, this would be like a Miss America pageant, Miss Universe pageant moment where he would scream and his hands would be trembling and it would be like winning the Miss Universe pageant for this guy. And I remember on the day, the director said, well, what are you talking about? And I said, look, give me one take. Give me one take. And I told the sound guy, I said, dude, back your boom mic off because I am going to scream like a little girl right now. It's going to be loud and long. And I told them, I said, I'm going to scream like I just won the Miss America pageant. And so they gave me one take of that, and the take that you see me do where I scream my head off is the only take we did, and I feel like it was almost one of the funniest moments in the whole movie. And they used it in the trailer, and people constantly come up to me and talk to me about how much they love that moment. The whole "When You Wish Upon a Star" scene where I sing to Julie out the window, that was something I came up with because they had this thing where Fred was kind of destroying everything and kind of ruining the trip, kind of because he was such a bumbling guy. And all of a sudden they have this scene where Julie falls in love with me. And I said to the guys, the crew, the director, the producers, the writers, I said, guys, we can't have Julie falling in love with Fred Randall because he's a disaster. He's annoying and he's ruining everything, and there's no catalyst for her to fall in love with the guy. I said we need to have a moment where she sees another side of him, where she sees a side she can fall in love with. And that's when I came up with the whole thing about them looking out the window and him saying, oh, that's my star. And she says, that's her star. And then he serenades her and sings When You Wish Upon a Star. And I just felt like that was a beautiful moment for Julie to take the turn and actually fall in love with me. And if you look at the scene, you can see that happening. And it's real, it's organic, and it makes it more real because if she just falls in love with me for no reason, I felt like it didn't play. It wasn't real. So anyways, that's just a little snippet. People ask me in my career what was my favorite movie to do, and this one, Rocketman, has got to be one of them. And I'm very proud of the movie. And, I could probably take you through every scene in the movie and show you the stuff that I rewrote or I added. Little lines like, have fun. And I go, fun is my Chinese neighbor's middle name. Just all that stuff I wrote in there. And as I said, I love the original writers that wrote on it, but I'll probably never get credit for all the stuff I wrote into the script. But at the end of the day, I don't care because I just feel happy that I feel like I and everyone else involved put out a great movie that really is timeless and has a great shelf life. And you can watch it any time with any audience, and I think people will get enjoyment from it. So I'm so glad you guys dig the movie. Or if you don't dig the movie, give it a second chance. And you better dig the movie, or I'll get a shovel out of the back of my truck and I'll dig it. No, I'm kidding. So, hey, there you go. FakeShemp.net. FakeShemp podcast. I really appreciate you guys reaching out. And I hope you enjoy Rocketman, and maybe someday we'll share some more stories. There's definitely a ton of them. And keep on laughing, keep on smiling. This is astronaut Fred Randall, a.k.a. Harland Williams, signing off. And we'll see you on the dark side of the moon, Pink Floyd. For at the very least, I'll meet y'all in Perth. Chicken chow mein, baby.
Wow, I am geeking out right now.
That was very cool.
How
mate.
awesome is that?
Very cool.
Very cool. Mr. Harland Williams had a lot to share, and he went above and beyond. There's some stories there that I have never heard of. And
I doubt anyone has, because this is that kind of film that is, regardless of being a Disney film and obviously cherished by a lot of people, a lot of fans, it is, at least in Australia, a bit of obscurity still, because it's not available.
It's a massive obscurity.
And to hear all this, kind of extra information that you're not hearing anywhere else, it's fucking ace.
Even on the old, Region 1 DVD, there's no special features like that.
No.
Even on IMDb, there's not a lot of trivia there.
Right.
So that was some really cool information. And look, this movie, as I said before, it just tickles my funny bone. It is so funny.
It's good humour too, because it's kind of humour you can, and I did mention before, I was worried about it being a family-friendly film. It is family-friendly. It's a little edgy at times, and he sneaks a few
Certainly
things
pushes
through.
a few envelopes.
But it works.
Yeah.
It works on so many levels. So you got the slapstick silliness of it, which really works. His zany, out there one-liners, the kind of stuff that only would come out of his mouth.
Yes.
And it's a strange sort of unusual film that just works.
I can imagine it's quite a huge gamble for Disney to put an entire film in his hands.
Totally.
But off the back of only a couple of big
parts and obviously successful stand-up, but that kind of stuff that he had been doing is a big gamble.
Huge, and there are so many favourite moments in this. You've got song numbers that are incredible.
Yeah.
But the one moment that just sticks out in my brain is when he's given that medal and he compares himself to the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz. That is just such a good moment.
And I like how when he does something, he just takes it that next step where it's, alright, this is kind of uncomfortable. It's funny and it's uncomfortable.
Yep.
And then it just gets a little bit more uncomfortable. And it's almost like he breaks the person past that point.
Absolutely.
He's like, they're either going to love him or hate him. And Beau Bridges, obviously, really comes around and really likes it. Sees a bit of himself in him, I think. Whereas, you've got all the sort of, the doubters and naysayers.
What I wouldn't give to see some, outtakes and...
Totally.
Because you can't tell me that these people didn't break, with
oh my God,
him.
Absolutely.
He talked about in what he told us that, that one moment where he screams like a beauty queen winning a pageant.
Yeah.
That was a one-take shot, but I'm certain the rest of them were not one-takes,
No, absolutely.
You cannot stare an actor in the face.
It. People he was playing off against would have had to have cracked up, and you can only imagine what would have come out of his mouth between takes.
Oh, God.
And alternate takes.
Oh,
So there'd be a wealth of cool shit to see. So maybe one day we'll see a special edition. My only hesitation is that being a Disney film, they don't sub-license anything to anyone else, and the only way this probably will get a special edition is if someone else releases it.
Oh, and that's...
So it's a bit of a catch-22.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to see it in widescreen, let alone Blu-ray, but...
Totally.
For sure. But look, let's talk a little bit about Harland's career.
Totally.
He's done so many good films. It's such a good character actor.
Totally.
The other day I watched Back in the Day, which is
right. I haven't seen this more recent film of his.
Yep, it's the film directed by Michael Rosenbaum, who was
Lex Luthor from Smallville, and he's in Curse, the Wes Craven werewolf movie, and he was in one I watched the other night, which I'll talk about after you finish talking.
No, cool. Look, I don't want to say too much about it. I mean, it was an unexpected film.
Right, right.
It was. I compared it to, say, Beautiful Girls, the Ted Demme film.
Yeah.
But with a very puerile kind of sensibility. So it was, Beautiful Girls with a puerile edge.
Yeah.
And Harland is the dopey character that he pushes envelopes big time in this one.
Excellent.
There's rape jokes. There's
we're no stranger to those on the FakeShemp podcast.
We don't mind an odd rape joke.
We don't condone them though.
No, jokes we do.
Absolutely, yes.
But this was a great film. At first, I was laughing gently, going, this is kind of funny, a little bit charming. It's also got Nick Swaston in it, in it. The guy from, excuse me, Benchwarmers and a few other things.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, and he's in Bucky Larson.
He's in it. He's great.
I like that guy. So he's funny.
I'm laughing.
He's good, dude. Yeah, I like his stand-up too.
I'm laughing at it sort of politely, this is kind of funny, kind of charming. I see where he's going with this. But then it just hits its stride, and it's just hilarious.
Is this one out through Eagle or someone like that?
Yeah, Eagle Entertainment, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
and also on Blu-ray, it was beautiful.
Oh, sweet, it's on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
even better.
It is. So definitely check it
out.
It's good. So what did you watch? Because
I did a bit of a renaissance of some of his more classic work. I ventured back to Half Baked, which would have been about 98 or so.
Yeah, definitely
a year
98.
After this.
Great movie
with Dave Chappelle and everyone else that's name doesn't come to my mind right now. Hilarious stoner comedy. I watched the shit out on VHS.
Plays the couch guy.
Yes, totally. Who good ends up flying out the window.
Yeah.
Killer, the dog that they've got. Yeah. Anyway, hilarious comedy, and there's one moment with Harlan where he's in prison. Obviously, they're calling him Fish, and he's being everyone wants a piece of his ass.
Yeah.
But there's this poster of the one chap that's trying to tame his hiney. And he's got a little poster and he's got the magic marker and he's going over the top of it and it's like, nasty jungle of love. I think it's something like that. Naughty jungle of love. Yeah. And it always stays with me. But, revisited Half Baked and that was fucking hilarious because I watched the shit out of it on VHS.
Yeah.
Had it on DVD for
been a long time.
Over a decade. And I hadn't watched it maybe 5 years. So much I'd forgotten. Just was hilarious. And then I jumped forward to about 2002 to Sorority Boys with Michael Rosenbaum and that other guy that I don't remember from other stuff, where they do the cross-dressing, they're in a fraternity, they get kicked out of their frat house and they're framed, so they have to
Harland is a very pretty girl.
He's so funny in it, there's that one bit where he's pulling the hair out of, and I don't know, have you ever had to pull women's hair out of the drain? When I clean the shower.
Yes, I have.
And it clumps into massive, and he has this massive fucking thing of hair and does the whole Chewbacca impersonation, but he has some fucking solid one-liners. Yeah, he's comic gold in it. So yes, it was great to watch these movies again.
Look, another one was Superstar with Molly Shannon.
Yes,
and he played the badass biker guy.
Yeah.
He's so good in that. That was another edgy kind of thing.
Totally.
Which I think Tom Green was in that with him.
Yes, without the goatee.
Yes, and he was also Harlan was in Tom Green's Freddy Got Fingered.
It's Darren, the dude that gets his fucking knee blown out, and then Tom Green's like,
I don't know, Gord. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fucking gold. Yeah, I forgot about that role. That's pretty cool.
So good.
But my favourite, I'm in a bind. No, my favourite is definitely the hitchhiker in There's Something About Mary with the 7-minute workout.
Yes.
Fucking genius. Step into my office. Why? Because you're fucking fired. And then, the 7 monkeys on my uncle's ranch eating lots of sunflower. Or something like that.
There's so many. I'm sure you could. I hope there's a video of all these memorable quotes on YouTube somewhere.
Totally. There's some. I looked at his IMDb. Yeah. And the guy's been in 70 or more TV and movies. There's a shitload of stuff I've never seen that I need to check out. Maybe not Spooky Buddies. Maybe not.
I
haven't watched
say
the
yes
6
to
chapters
Spooky
before.
Buddies because I fucking love
I need to watch them in sequential order, and maybe when I have kids, I can do
Tell you
it.
what, there's a prolific director. He's done every single Buddies film.
Amazing.
And including the new Russell Madness film.
I've got to watch Russell Madness. Yeah. You know how much I want to watch that.
Another one that Harlan was in that I forgot all about was Dog Park. Do you remember that from 97 or 98?
That wasn't the one with...
Luke Wilson, was it?
Oh, I'm thinking there was another one
Lost and Found? With David Spade?
No, not the one where he's holding the dog. Was he in that as well?
No, that's confusing.
No, there's that other one. not Dog of the Year or Year of the Dog or something. It
I
was
give a
this awkward
shit.
kind of comedy
Yeah.
from the mid-2000s. I think Molly Shannon was in that, and maybe John C. Reilly.
Alrighty, yeah.
But yes, no, the Luke Wilson one. Actually, I remember thinking that was alright.
It was
when
good.
Luke Wilson did Home Fries and
Yes.
Drew Barrymore and that sort of thing.
Yeah, when he really hit his stride.
Totally.
And
I'll have to check that shit out again.
Employee of the Month, that he was
Yes,
in
the one
that.
with Dayton Cook?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep. And what's her name? Jessica Simpson, I think, was in that too, wasn't she?
Yes, I think you're right.
Yeah,
actually, yeah.
shit, I haven't seen that for a long
That's
time
so
either.
well. But look, I love the guy. And hey, you know,
And Steve Zahn. Was Steve Zahn in that as well?
I think he might have been.
I think so.
Who can resist Steve Zahn? We should get him on the show too.
Oh, well, you know, I'm sure that he'll be the next guest up. Maybe we can tackle Joyride.
And you know what? We have a mutual friend, Harland Williams and I's.
Right.
Miss
okay.
Lulu McClatchy, who's a very popular
Super
Australian.
girly?
Super girly, yes.
Right,
She's a
right.
very popular Australian performer. She's multifaceted. She does acting, she does comedy, singing, you know. She does the whole lot. But she went on a comedy tour with Harland several years ago.
Right, very
and
cool.
she was telling me a story about just how down to earth he is as a person.
Yeah.
And when they were on this tour, because he was the headlining act, you know, whoever the promoters were, gave him a limousine to himself.
Oh,
so
okay.
all of the other performers got put on this bus and they had to sort of cramp together and drive across the country while Harland had this limousine driving in the front.
Right.
But Harland refused to use it. So it was driving there while he was on the bus with everybody else just having
fucking
fun.
cool.
Like, how cool is that?
That's cool. That's the man among the people.
Absolutely.
Knows
So,
his
and I
roots.
think, you know, listening to what he had to say, he's also
Yeah.
got his podcast, The Highland Highway, which is
Right,
hilarious. He interacts with people. He's down to earth, you know. He doesn't bullshit. Everything that comes out of his mouth is sincere and genuine. And, you know, it's what a career. I love him.
Totally. We're gonna do another one of his films down the track and see if he'll come back on the program and tell us a little bit about that. All right.
For sure. And look, we have a copy of Rocketman to give away to a lucky listener. Not available in Australia, so it is a Region 1, so make sure your player does multi-zone. Most Aussie players do.
Yeah.
So we have this one to give away. If you keep listening in a few moments, you'll find out how to win it. But do you have anything else you'd like to add to this particular part of the show?
I think I have nothing. Oh no, what I did want to touch on was
Yeah.
the use of stock footage
Of course.
in the film. Like, because you have that montage scene where he's singing in a bunch of different dialects, but really he's just saying like phrases or brands or companies in Chinese or German, even with IKEA. And he's supposed to be speaking German, and he brings IKEA into it, funnily
Which
enough.
is hilarious.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And then, you know, stock footage of the actual
Yeah.
spaceship itself. And even the design of the spaceship, it's very, like, over the top, very, like, Red Dwarf or Blake 7.
Sure.
Oh, no, it's about, I think Blake 7 actually tried to make the shit look good, whereas Red Dwarf was completely and utterly parody. Yeah, it's just fun. It's fun all around the edges. Like, you can tell it was made, you know, with passion. And
nostalgia.
And it's, absolutely. And it strangely works. And that's the other thing that I thought about was the fact that it is a Disney film, pays homage to a lot of different Disney films, from actually having songs like the Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah.
Right down to musical cues in there that I could hear were like Disney cues. There were a couple Disney references throughout, which was great.
It was a
They're
very,
properties,
very
you know,
romantic
you can play with.
score.
Yeah,
Really
absolutely.
romantic score.
Absolutely. At times, the score was great because it did. I felt like it felt nostalgic and familiar. It was quite good. It worked. But yeah, all around, look, I really dug it. I think it was a great film, and I can't believe it took me so long to see it. So thank you for showing it to me tonight.
Oh, well, you're most welcome.